Hey guys, welcome back to WiseKracks. Bill Krackomberger over here at the fabulous Westgate Superbook. Listen, we just came off a crazy Super Bowl weekend. I couldn't believe how many people were online cashing tickets 2.5 hours after the game the other day. You guys know, sick week for props. I had one of my best years ever in the history of betting sports on props. The guys at Wager Talk that put on this show, I gave you guys a 7-0 package. That's impossible. I probably that's I don't know. How do you go 7-0? You got to lose something. 10-3 overall, but the package was 7-0. I've been talking about this guy the last couple weeks. One of the greatest pool players to ever play the game, undercover of the night kind of guy. I knew him when I was a kid. He didn't know me because why would he know me? I was playing in pool halls, but he's the guy that would come in and take off a lot of the people. Rodney Morris, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. And I met you down at the Golden Nugget actually officially when I used to run the joint. I had a cabana at all times.
Yeah.
And our quick mutual friend Bumper brought you over that time, and that's when I told you before off air. I met Ginky, and Ginky was a really good pool player, real sharp kid. I met him at West End Billiards, but we actually met him more out here. He stayed out here. We were out here together for a week, going out, hanging out, and he was a nice kid, a really nice kid.
Great kid.
He got to be on ESPN, and unfortunately, he was walking down the street with a cab driver named Armin that used to play, and he got hit by a chair that got thrown out a window. And unfortunately, that was his downfall spiral. Poor kid, hit with a chair, and then he wound up getting himself into some trouble with some other things. And the poor kid got him. He was one of the best too. Sharp looking, fast, nice, and what a nice kid too. Like you, a nice guy. Very unusual to see nice guys in the pool world. No, you, Tony Robles out of New York.
Yep.
I always thought were
great guy.
And Ginky too. They were always really nice guys in the pool world, which is unusual. So, but let's go back to the beginning. When you were a kid, you grew up in Hawaii, right?
Well, I was born in California.
Okay.
I was born in Orange County, Anaheim, right across from Disneyland, in 1970. And my dad was military and stationed out there. My mom's from Hawaii. My dad is from Guam, and he's a Marine. Still going. And,
God bless him.
Yeah, he's still going. But he's and then they split up when I was about a year and a half old. So then it was my stepdad was who I grew up with, who I knew. But my dad was always around. And so then in 1980 we moved to Hawaii. My mom wanted to go back, and I was 10 years old, and then that's where I grew up in Hawaii.
Okay.
So grew up on the beach.
Right. Okay. You grew up on now. How did you get into pool? Were you playing pool as a kid in California, or when you got to Hawaii?
When I got to Hawaii, so I was 16 years old, and I walked into Hawaiian Brian's Billiards to play foosball. We used to play foosball as kids.
Right. Sure.
And then we were waiting. The line was super long, and then so I told my buddies, two of my friends, I said, I said, man, we looked at the pool table. So you guys ever play pool? And he says, no. So we all played. And we played, you know how you play cutthroat with 15 balls?
I heard of it.
You got to sink the other guy's balls, and whoever's balls are left, the last, 5.
Yep.
So we played that for 25 cents a man. And then about 2 hours later, I got about $14 worth of quarters, and those guys never played pool again, and I never left the pool table.
Wow!
So I picked it up so fast. Yeah, wow. The guys were like, "How the heck did you play this game?" So you
didn't go for lessons? No one taught you
No. I just
picked it up.
Never played a game of foosball since either.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my. It's one of those things. I always felt like, if you could just find. Something that you do really, really well, a lot of people don't. They try other things that they're not real good at. Yeah. I just happened to stumble onto the thing that I was really good at, so that was cool.
So I grew up in North Jersey and Central Jersey, and around pool halls there, and I remember I was playing somewhere. I don't know if it was somewhere in Monmouth County. I know you were based out of. You actually wind up leaving Hawaii under Brian's guys and meeting Tony Catucci, who owned the ballroom, and that was a Route 9 in Toms River, I think.
That's right. I was based out of Toms River, New Jersey.
Toms River. Yeah. And I wound up seeing you somewhere and said, wow, this kid, you were younger than me, a couple years younger than me. I was like, this kid's unbelievable. Yeah. And now Tony knew right away and actually took you on the road. So you weren't entering tournaments where everyone would know you. You were kind of going undercover in the back rooms or playing people for cash, didn't really want to get your name out there. in tournaments where you may win a first prize at first, I'm saying, you would play cash games on the way up. Am I right? But even with the unknown guys, I would think. Now you tell me, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I would just hang out, and a lot of times I would show up at a tournament and lose on purpose, and just kind of hang around and look for action. You know, people, and most of the times the tournaments, you know, if you could win 5,000 in a tournament or whatever, you could play somebody for that for 5,000 or 10,000, no problem. So it's like sometimes the tournaments were just kind of, you know, a place to go look for my prey.
That's right. No, it is, and it seems like it's the exact opposite now. By the way, it seems like tournaments. It seems like pool now. There's not a lot of gambling in the pool rooms like it was back then. Back then, in the 80s and 90s, everyone was gambling. Mm-hmm. Everyone was. Now it's more of a. Maybe it's mainstream. Maybe it's better actually for the game. But everyone was gambling when I was in these pool rooms. Everyone was gambling. It just seems a little different now. I'm not really into pool no more. But it doesn't. From what I'm hearing, or is it still that way? They have the billiards room here. They always go to. This is we're in the building that everyone comes to pool. They go to Westgate. This is where a lot of the convention or tournaments are here. I see people carrying around pool sticks all the time.
Yep. I leave for Hawaii tomorrow to train. I go to Hilo, Hawaii, from one of my good friends' grandkids.
Wow.
And they're 10, 11, and 12 years old, and they all run out, and they'll be here next week playing in this the league here. It's an amateur leagues.
Okay.
So they're all little kids. So there's a lot of kids play. There'll be 250,000 people here next week playing pool.
The pools, it's a big thing for the city. It's a big thing for here. There's a lot of people that come here. Yeah. What about all those nicknames you must have seen over time in the pool world? You know, like, let's ask you, how did you get your nickname, the Rocket? How did you get that?
I just play super fast. And when I was young, nobody knew my name, so they're just like, where's that kid? He runs around the table like a rocket. And then they go, there's that Rocket guy. Come here, let's play. So, So, so somebody actually was a really good friend of mine that actually named me, my buddy Roy in Hawaii. So
where I grew up in Monmouth County, let's see if you know some of these names. You have to know some of these. Did you know like Neptune Joe or?
Oh yeah, Joe Frady.
Joe Frady. Did you know Blood out of Newark?
Blood? I did.
Oh, Blood.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you got street guys.
Oh yeah.
My man Blood. Gypsy Bob. Do you know these names?
Yeah, Bob Stevens.
How
we played millions of times.
Yeah. Belly Bob out of Hoboken.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I can't believe you know.
Everybody. Yeah.
Teddy. Did you know Teddy the Greek?
Oh yeah.
Teddy was out here for a while. Wow. So you know Kid Delicious.
Tony knew him. Yeah. So Kid Delicious is funny. He's I always joke around. I ain't never calling nobody delicious.
Right.
But I used to call him Kid Suspicious. But now he was a good guy. But his dad used to come into the pool room in Tom's River at the ballroom. They lived a couple miles from there.
Wow.
That's where his house was. But every time I would come to town, he was on the road doing what I was doing. You know, he was hustling pool and some. You know, he's like. And most of the time when I came to town, you would see a lot of the good players. All of a sudden, they're not around.
Right.
They would make sure wherever I'm at, they go somewhere else.
Eddie Hodan, you know him?
I know, yeah.
A lot of the old names I just thought about. I wrote them down just thinking of old.
Yeah. Well, one of the most famous guys, who's I don't know if people know, he was a pool player, is John Hennigan.
Love John. I'm actually, out of anybody in the pool world that was in there, that's the person I'm closest to.
Oh, dude,
he's
a legend.
Flakes.
He's a legend. Yeah,
Flakes.
And I remember like it was yesterday. It was him, and was the albino kid? Was it Josh?
Josh.
It was Josh, and then the Asian guy was another Asian guy. It was three of them, and they all started playing poker.
Yeah.
I remember it was like in 89 or 90. They were playing poker, and the guy said, "Oh no, they don't play pool anymore. He's big time poker guy."
He left, and he's one of the greatest poker players.
Yeah.
Plays the highest levels.
Yeah.
One day, me and Bump walk into. He said, let's go see Flakes. I said, listen, he's up there head-to-head playing Doyle Brunson. Maybe we shouldn't do that right now. And Bump goes, nah, we're going right in. And Flakes is like, he's got like $1 million in front of him. He's like, hey, Bump, let me talk to you after. It's a serious game we're playing here. And Doyle gave him a frown. But I wound up being friends with Doyle too, though. But as far as Flakes,
he's a
Johnny
legend,
Whirl is a legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
So his pool game was back then. Was that good? I remember, I wrote down something about Flakes.
He could have been one of the best in the world for pool too, but there's no money in it.
There was no money in it. That's exactly right. I wrote something down about him. I was going to bring him up later, but since you brought him up, that's no problem. Yeah. strolls into the Philly pool room, Petey Fusco's pool room. Oh, now, did you play Flakes in there, in that pool room?
I did that time. Yeah. Petey was a little better, and so I would just go there and say, no, I can't play you, and anyway, Flakes was the guy to play anyway.
Right.
He would play for whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
So.
He got a lot of gamble to him.
Oh.
That's the reason why he's successful today. Yeah. I think the money he has today, which he has a lot of money today, I think it's locked up now because he would go through it. Doesn't matter. He win millions and then blow it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He should be a good guest. I should get him on a show because he'd be a good guest. Yeah. Talking about, I've seen him at the Taj Mahal at the dice table. Him and Josh. I just can't believe he'd make all this money with edges and then blow it at the dice table.
Yeah, taking the worst of it.
Taking the worst of it. Exactly right. But and Fusco, Jimmy was a really nice guy, I thought, too. So I'm wrong. I want to put him in that level of nice guys.
Yeah.
Jimmy was very nice. I was with Grady Matthews. He was a really nice guy. Some of the older names pool players were really nice for the most part, compared to other athletes and other celebrities. Let's call them. I know pool is just doesn't get the respect it deserved, but they were always on ESPN. I'm also good friends with Alan Hopkins. Alan Hopkins was the guy that was on there.
Yeah. International Challenger Champions he did every year. He did. There were some good times that pool had some really good airtime as far as getting on sports. So it was we've had some chances to get mainstream and to get in there. So, and I think now it's coming around again because with the betting now, more. So now somebody just got to create a game, that's conducive to the betting world.
Speaking of betting, so I didn't know if you knew about what happened out here at the Mirage. Jimmy Vaccaro, when he opened up, he had the pool players coming here. I think it was a $100,000 tournament. First prize was $50,000. I could be wrong on the prize money, but it was definitely $50,000 involved. So they had a big tournament here, and they had about 16 players, and I have a video of it. They had the odds from the board. They had from 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 8 to 1, 12 to 1, all the way down to, I believe it was 50 to 1 on Lou Batera. I think it was Lou Batera?
No,
it wasn't Lou.
Mike LeBron.
It was Mike LeBron, Spanish LeBron. Wow, where did I get Batera from? He was a player too back in the day.
Yeah, he's a legend. Machine
Gun Lou. All right, how do I get that? But Spanish Mike LeBron, he was the older guy probably in the tournament too, 50 to 1. And the pool players got together and said, wait a minute, what are we doing here? We're banging out to try to get this $50,000. Let's just whack up the money, all the pool players, and let's just bet on the 50 to 1, Spanish Mike. And then he went down to 20 to 1. Bet him again. And Buddy Hall in the finals with him, the rifleman Buddy Hall, and him in the finals. The video's on YouTube. Just look for Buddy Hall versus Spanish Mike LeBron. It's pretty bad, that last game. I mean, it's pretty bad. Buddy misses a straight ball or straight down the table at 9. It's but hey. Why do I root for the bad guys? And they're not even bad guys. Even in the movies, I root for the bad guys. I'm so happy someone took off a casino like that. I'm here filming in a casino. I get so excited that unfortunately, they would never have odds on a pool tournament again in a casino. But I've been to so many different pool tournaments. I played pool as a kid. Some of my best money scores when I was a kid was playing pool, playing against guys that were better than me, but they were such degenerate gamblers. They want to play. You would make a game that's so good for you. You had to do that your whole life.
Yep.
You're making games that you cannot lose. You actually have to make it look good. I mean, how many times in your life have you made your game, like you said, you used to lose on purpose, am I right?
Yeah. We call it matching up. You got to know how to match up, right?
You got to know how to match up.
You match up when you're the favorite. And people don't realize, they think pool is gambling. No, pool is a skill game. So if we're playing, most of the time the game is already won before you even start. So
That's right.
I'm betting, you're betting money, but my skill is going to outdo your skill.
Right.
So that's the key, right?
Now, someone I really thought, and people that are watching that know pool and know billiards, I always thought Efren Reyes, not just because everyone says it. I've watched the guy in multiple tournaments. I probably was at 10 different events watching this guy, and I watched him be his nickname's the Magician, right?
Yeah.
I've watched him be a magician at that table. I couldn't believe it. So, however, you and Efren were actually pretty close.
Yeah.
And you actually, what was the year you played him in the finals of, what was that? Was it the U.S. Open?
Yes, that was 1996.
96.
Yeah. That was my rookie year on tour.
That was your rookie year on tour. So before that, I'm kind of going out of order, and I apologize, guys. Before that, though, you were. When was your first time going to like Tom's River in New Jersey? Like
89.
Oh, you did go there.
Yeah. So I was
from '89 to going on tour. What were you doing all those years? Was Tony taking you on the road and hustling pool all up and down the coast? Or?
Yeah, not really hustling. I remember the first time in 1989 we walked into a pool room in South Carolina. I got to remember, I never left Hawaii to play pool at the time.
Okay.
So we walk into this pool room.
Not Weenie Beanie's place, right? No.
I don't know where it was. I forget. Maybe Jimmy Hodges' place. It was a cute time. I forget what it was.
Yep.
And Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
And he says, just go hit some balls, and see. Don't show too much. And then and we're looking for lower players to play.
Right.
We're not trying to play the best player.
Match, whatever,
And I think it's the first time that Tony saw me and like try to like make it. I don't look so good.
Right.
And then after about 10 minutes, he says, listen, kid. He said, there's no possible way you can look bad. He said, you just look too good at the table. He said, just ask the best players if they want to play. We'll go anywhere, just ask who's the best player, I want to play them.
Wow.
Because he said, you're not going to hustle nobody. Well, you look too good at the table. So
you couldn't even
I couldn't even look bad.
Wow.
So
I
it
want
was
to tell you
funny.
something. For the people listening at home, watching at home, that's what I thought when I seen you. I said, holy shit, where did this kid come from? I said, this guy's unbelievable. No one ever heard of you. Like I knew all the top players. I was friends with Steve Miserak. My dad knew Steve's dad. In Perth Amboy, New Jersey. I knew Steve really well. I knew a lot of players. And I just, where did this guy come from? Why isn't he playing pro? And there was a billiard hall in Marlborough, New Jersey. I forget the name. It was in Marlborough. It was right down the street on 9. About 10 miles up, though, north of the ballroom. And I hung out in there. I hung out in Atlantic Highlands in the pool room. I hung out in Keyport in the pool room, Hazlitt. I was all over, but I also went on the road to those good rooms, the Chelseas in Amsterdam,
New York.
and New York pool rooms. And I really where I really got the pulse of pool, though, was West End Billiards in Elizabeth.
Yes.
That was the place that I really got there. They had a poker game upstairs. They had their tournament once a week. And some of the best guys in the world were playing in that tournament at one time. But it was all the New York Rounders, the Tony Robles, Frankie Hernandez. And did you play in that at all?
I did a lot. Every time I would come out, I won a lot.
You had to win it.
There.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And you're playing against pros. Miserak was in that room. I mean, there's a lot of great players in that room.
Yep.
And we used to play poker after. I worked in a restaurant back then. I used to bring hamburgers for all the crew. I used to bring bags of hamburgers, bags of stuff, and that's why they nicknamed me Burger Bill over there. Yeah, I worked more blue collar jobs. You guys were all hustling on the road, but it was a good time though. I knew a lot about blackjack, card counting. Someone taught me, so it was good. It was good times before I was gambling full time. But that room, Chelsea Billiards. I remember in walked the girl, the Black Widow.
Oh, Jeanette
Lee. And she was just like, first of all, she was always dressed in black, real sexy girl, but she would, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. She would come in and she would she was so good. But I don't think she really had any money. She was just having guys stake her or put money up, and they would put up money for her. And she challenged all the guys to play. She wound up being, I think she was one of the best female players in the world. Am I saying it right?
Yeah. She learned from a lot of us. She used to come down to Tom. She came to Hawaii and play.
Oh,
She always wanted to learn from all the best men players.
Right.
Because that's how you're gonna, you're gonna get better, right? So she, and then in 1993, I think she won the world championship.
Unbelievable.
So, and that was kind of catapulted her to, and it's funny because she's everywhere I go, for decades. A lot of people, they don't even know pool, but they say, can you beat the Black Widow?
Right. She was the name.
She's very famous.
She was on the front of all the pool magazines.
Yeah,
I mean, there were some great girls, though. Iwa Mataya was great. Lori John, her father had a pool room in North Jersey, Lori John Jones. But yeah, Sammy Jones was his name. So from that 89 to 96, before you became on the pro tour and everyone, what were you doing those years? You were down in South Carolina. Were you going from different states looking for games, or he just said, you know what, forget it, just start playing the best guys?
Well, he used to have a book, and he used to have, every city we went to, he knew who to play, he knew who could play for a lot of money, and who to lose to. Let's say I went someplace and I wanted to play somebody. Let's say I was looking for you, and I knew you bet big, but there was one guy that played just under you, And I would go over there and I'll lose $100 or $200 to that guy that's just under you while you're watching.
Sure.
And then you're asking me to play now. And then, but you're the actual guy that I was trying to get the whole time.
Of course, so you're losing purposely.
Yeah, that's also. And, one move was a good move. And everybody asked me all the time, said, do you ever get in trouble? I said, no, I tell everybody that, I'm gonna win. I'm not trying to hustle you. I'm gonna beat you.
Right.
I won't say that, I can't beat you. I'm just gonna say I'll play. I'm the best player. And then, so you never get in trouble. But the way back then, remember, no cell phones.
Yeah.
So we didn't take any chances. If we're in a pool room and we win 20, 30,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're not from there.
Sure.
So we call the fire department from the pay phone or the pool room phone. And just call the fire department and say, hey, there's a fire. And then when the fire department comes in and they're like, oh, false alarm, then we walk out with them.
Wow.
And then we leave. And so we never had a problem.
Oh, what a good move.
Yeah, we never, just in case, you never want to find out, And most of the time, it's not the pool playing community that's going to do something. It's people that are watching on the side that might not be, real savory characters. They might be watching you with a bunch of money and like, let's get these guys or something. Who knows?
And, it's funny. Years ago, when you would actually pray for rain. When you were it seems like whenever there was rain, you get all the people, the construction workers, the painters, the guys that come in and play and want to play for money, a little bit of money. When we were kids, that's the days you want to, So you're talking about these pool rooms and walking out, and you'd have to watch yourself. These construction guys were tough guys. They get mad when their money gets robbed off them. So you would actually say to them, hey, I'm going to win. I'm the best player.
I'm the best.
You would act that way, whatever. Maybe.
Yeah, the worst is when people get in trouble when they try to play somebody and lose to them on purpose.
Yeah.
And they get the bet jacked up, and then they beat them. They're like, hey, you were hustling me. I never had that. I just tell the guy, I'm going to beat you. You can't beat me.
Let me ask you, there was one of the all-time hustlers, top-notch guy, Jack Cooney.
Ooh.
You actually knew Jack and played with him.
Very well, yeah.
Wow.
He's a legend.
He's a legendary guy. Is he still with us?
Yeah, I think so, as far as I know. Yeah.
He was like one of the all-time. Was he from Philadelphia?
I'm not till today. I don't know where, but I know he was based out of there when I was there that time in the '90s, and he was there all the time. And I saw him move around there like the most incredible.
You got a story with him?
Display of 3 months I ever seen.
Did you say you had a story with him?
No. Well, he had. I remember I was watching him play three guys over this course of like 3 months.
Okay.
And and all three of those guys played the same level. So this is how awesome he was. He would play. Let's say the first guy. He would play the first guy first day, and he would lose 500 to the guy.
Right.
Then he would go to the next guy and play him, and he would beat him for 1,000.
Right.
Then he would play the third guy and lose 500. Then he would go back the next time, and the guy that he lost 500 to, he'll beat him for 1,000.
Wow.
And then the guy that he beat him for 1,000, he would lose back 500.
Then
he would always win 1,000 and lose 500.
Yes.
And he did that. I saw him do it for months, and I think he was there for years doing that.
Did you ever get to play him?
I never got to play him because.
But I heard you had some good moves.
He could have played me at any time. He was that good of a player, but he wouldn't because he was on a different. Yeah, he don't want to ruin his.
You don't want to ruin. You don't want to ruin your action.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your dad. Now, I heard this. I'm a giant Elvis fan. So, I'm a giant Elvis fan. I took my parents to Graceland. I became an Elvis fan when I was there. What did your dad do with Elvis?
So my stepdad, Fred Brewster, he raised me until I was 10 to go to Hawaii.
Right.
But then he was a bodyguard for Elvis. So he was with Mike Stone and that group that got the contract and all that.
Yep.
So he used to tell us, and I remember one time, specifically I think it was 1976, I was 6 years old. And we were living in Garden Grove, California, and in the front yard we had a big tree, and they had those leaves that are about this big and covers the whole thing. It's about this tall.
Yes.
So my mom and Fred got into a big argument.
Right.
And Fred had 4 albums with Elvis stuff from back then.
Yeah.
All the 4 photo albums full, and my mom took it and put it in that yard, like hiding it for him.
Wow.
And when he came back, she said, "I burned them all," and all that.
Wow.
And then later on, when they made up, he said, "They're just in the yard.
Right.
We never found them."
Wow.
Somebody saw them gone 4 albums. So I always tell my dad, I was telling him about that. I said, "Remember that?" So he said, "Yeah, your mom said she burned them, but somebody must have saw her putting them in." Can you imagine 4 albums of all Elvis stuff back then? Jeez. Somebody has them. Somebody found it in Garden Grove, California, over there.
Garden Grove, and I seen photos with also Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, he bodyguarded for Clint Eastwood, Jerry Lewis. Yeah, he got inducted in the martial arts Hall of Fame. He's a Kempo master, so he's first generation under Ed Parker. So that's when Elvis was doing all the Kempo moves and all that.
Of course. He was in the karate.
Yeah. He told me, he's like, son, when used that funeral procession that Elvis had. Mm-hmm. He said Ed Parker's had more people there.
Wow.
He said, that's how legendary he was. Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
It was a great. Yeah. So he's a big. He used to tell me all kinds of stories. Yeah.
Nice.
Funny.
So now we can go over to Efren and I'll go to this last, the photo last. But so now you play in some of these big events, and you're in the U.S. Open. And was that in Chesapeake, Virginia?
Chesapeake, Virginia.
I won a couple times.
Yeah.
And you go to the finals with Efren Reyes.
Yes.
Right. And this is the
1996. Yeah. September '96, I think it was.
Wow. I mean, and that's the first time you played with him before. Mm-hmm. This is the first time you're playing with him in this kind of a spotlight where you think pressure would. You're playing the magician, the greatest player of all time, but you didn't let it get to you. You beat him.
Yeah, it was. So I did something that year. That was my first year on tour because from 1995, I was looking for a game in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'd never been to Oklahoma before, and it was 1995 in the summer of '95, and I was playing and I was making some money, and we were going to play the next day for $5,000 against a guy. And somebody came, and then they showed there was a pool and billiard magazine, and in the very, very back of the magazine, it had a little picture of me in it because I had played in a tournament somewhere. And then the guy came, this is you, and all that.
Right.
So I never got the game. Then that's when I'm like, okay, if I'm, everybody's going to start knowing me.
Sure,
so,
you're in the back,
so I can't really go undercover anymore. So I got to play. So 1996 is when I started playing. That was my rookie year on tour, but every tournament that we went to, I would ask Efren to play because Efren he's the reason why I wanted to play pool. I wanted to be just like him.
Oh my God.
That's my idol. So I would play him race to 7 for $100 before the start of every tournament that year, and we would play 5 sets, and I never won a set.
You're just basically giving him $100.
I'm learning. I'm getting lessons. Yeah, basically. So I would lose $500 to him every tournament, and then now, fast forward, like 8 months later, I'm in the finals of the U.S. Open with him, and I'm playing him.
Just the pressure alone. Just playing this guy that beat you in all these sets and stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the U.S. Open 9-ball, that was the biggest tournament in the world at the time.
Of course.
Yeah, that was the biggest. Yeah, it's still a great tournament to win, but everybody wanted to win that one. So when I beat Efren, and I remember Frankie Hernandez was in the front, and talk about gambling, there was a whole entourage right outside before the finals. And I was with Frankie and Tony Robles, and so Frankie's out there, and he goes out there, Spanish Mike is there, everybody's there, and Frankie says, anybody want to bet on Efren? I'll take the kid.
Wow.
And nobody said a word.
You're kidding me.
Nobody said. You can ask Frankie about this.
I would think he's got to be $1.50 over you too. I mean,
a big favorite, right? In that situation, he's like, nobody want to bet. He said, you got the best player in the world over here. You got this kid from Hawaii, and nobody want to bet. He said, Efren, you got to fire all these guys. That's what he told him. Nobody would bet a quarter.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Frankie, till today, I tell Frankie about that story. He's like, I can't believe nobody would bet.
Wow.
Because they knew. They saw me.
I always thought about Frankie. He was a great local player there, but he was always so cocky and arrogant. I thought, but he was great. He had a right to be.
Action.
And you just told me though that he actually had a good job and retired from it. That's great.
Yeah,
that's great because these
good
players that made all this money and a little bit of money in the pool in the beginning. They have nothing in the future. I'm glad someone got out and made some money. And Tony Robles down in Florida now teaching lessons and stuff.
Yeah. Good. He travels around. He does a lot of stuff.
Good guy.
Great guy.
I lived for a while in North Carolina, and there was a pool tournament down there. I knew that Steve told me he was going down, Steve Miserak, going down in this local pool hall in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah. And Johnny Archer, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Brass tap.
Yeah.
And Johnny Archer, I think he was either from there or around.
He was living there.
Yeah. And I thought he was one of the greatest players. And you've had some good interaction with him over the years?
Yeah, Johnny's great. Yeah, player of the decade in the 90s. Scorpion.
Think about that.
Oh,
That's how good he was. Such a good player. But I want to give him, you're gonna laugh when you hear my favorite player.
Okay.
He was from down the road there. He was from down the road in North Carolina. Earl Strickland.
Oh yeah.
I loved Earl, and I know he was not liked by a lot of people, but I thought Earl Strickland was great. I thought he was a great player. I thought he used to talk during the match. He was like, maybe a little bit of a crybaby, but I loved him.
Yep.
I love that's part of his shtick. That's part of his act, Earl the Pearl. You played him, I'm sure, before.
Oh yeah. So the two guys, it's great that you brought him up. So in 1987 or whenever 86 is when The Color of Money came out.
Right.
And everybody wanted to play pool, right? So that's when I started.
Right.
Well, then now I started watching pool a little bit, right then. And the two players that I wanted to be like, I wanted to have the finesse of Efren Reyes and the power of Earl Strickland.
Wow.
And then if you get a chance, anybody can look at in the finals of the 1996 U.S. Open 9-ball. Steve Miserak is commentating, and we became really good friends, from back then. He used to come to Hawaii all the time. And Steve is commentating on this match, and at one point, he says in that match, he said, this kid, he's got the power of Earl Strickland and the finesse of Efren Reyes. He says that.
Wow.
I was like, oh, dude, what do I do after that? I knew I was downhill after that.
Strickland was from Greensboro, I believe he's from.
Yeah, I think originally Goldsboro or something like that. But yeah, right there.
Country town by Greenville, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did some. I was there. I was somewhere where he ran these racks. He won $1 million.
Yeah,
you know about that?
That was that same week that I went up to Tulsa, Oklahoma, because we were playing in a tournament in Dallas, Texas. C.J. Wiley's place.
C.J. Wiley,
he did that. That was the one.
Name.
Yeah, they put on $1 million challenge.
$1 million challenge. If anyone can run,
break and run 10 racks.
Break and run 10 racks.
Set,
and of course, no one's going to be able to do that. That's hard. 9-ball. It was a 9-ball, right?
Yeah.
Pretty hard to do. Run 10 racks on this special promotional time. Impossible.
Yeah.
Earl Strickland ran 10 racks, broke and ran 10
for $1 million,
and the company didn't want to pay him.
Something. Yeah.
They wound up buying out for like $600,000 or something. They bought out.
Whatever it was.
They said, we're going to go bankrupt, the rest we can pay you half the money or something like that. But he was a great player.
Yeah, still a
great player. Do you ever see him still?
Yeah, I do. I talk to him all the time. I talked to him last week. Yeah, I want to start a podcast, my own little pool podcast.
I hope you do it.
And we're going to do it on there and do some instructional stuff and all that. He's great to.
Really?
Yeah.
He's up for it.
Yeah, he's up for it. But one thing we did, in 2008, a buddy of mine reached out to me and he says, I was in Japan doing challenge matches, pretty famous in Japan. And we're going around and he says, you think you could ever bring Earl here? And then so I went back home and then I called Earl and I said, Earl, I got a deal. He said, we'll go to Japan and do challenge matches and exhibitions, for 39 days in a row, different city in Japan.
Wow.
And we did it until today. He said, dude, that was one of the best times I ever had. 39 days in a row.
Wow, so I didn't even realize. So you've been all over the world. I figured maybe you're in England or you've been all over Europe and Asia. And you've been all over the world.
Yeah. In Taiwan, my nickname is the King of the Money Games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And it seems like that overseas the money's better.
It is.
Overseas. Like maybe is it the billiards guys or something, the billiard community? It just seems like there's more money in pool overseas.
It's a lot bigger. There's a lot more corporate investment, So and it's amazing to me that here in the United States, pool is an American pastime.
Right.
And we don't have a professional tour.
Yeah.
We don't have one right now. It's like there's a definite need right now for it. So
what are you now's a perfect opportunity then? What are you doing now in the pool world? What do you got going? What's this new thing you're starting up?
So I'm starting a professional tour in the USA. So it's and that's why I wanted to come on here mostly because I created my own all offense game and scoring system for pool.
Okay.
So think golf, bowling, darts, any game where you just shoot your number. Well, what that does is, because we're able to keep accurate statistics for the first time ever in pool, it's a natural fit for the betting.
Wow.
So that's where, I'd like to get, that traction going and start and, get some conversations with, some people in the betting world and talk. Because just off the top of my head, I figured out that they're in a 15-week season, there's going to be at least 1 million possible bets somebody can make.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a bet. I'm like, dude, and we're creating a whole new sport that doesn't exist, a whole new market.
Right.
So that's a conversation I like to have with the right people and see.
So you may be thinking about getting one of the big books behind it, like a DraftKings or FanDuel.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. It's a natural fit. I mean, it's
maybe Westgate here. because they are so much, they are so happy to have the pool players here.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think it's twice a year I see this place sold out. Can't get a room. Everyone's carrying sticks and cues. Oh, now what? You're carrying a cue. Do you just carry a cue everywhere? Just in case?
No, I got a buddy of mine that wants a pool lesson after this.
Oh, really?
So I told him I'm gonna go give him a lesson. Yeah, I'm only in town for 1 day, so he said, can you, I need some help with my game, and I think he's trying to get ready for that next week's event.
Next week's thing.
So
now I told you, Greg Balabushka, his father was the famous pool cue maker.
Yeah.
Balabushka. That's like the
George
George
Balabushka.
Is George's cues? Are they still known as one of the best cues in the game?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's like one of those pieces of art that just stands the test of time. Balabushka, Zambodi, all of that. Yeah, they're all. Yeah.
I had to tell Greg that. Greg followed me on Twitter. I followed him back, and I said, "This can't be the same Balabushka."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my dad. And Greg came to Vegas. Pretty cool, but that was the most famous pool cue. Everyone wanted the Balabushka.
Yeah, and when they're gone, that's when all the value goes up, because anything happens to it, you ain't never getting it again.
Yeah.
So that's when the
died. I think he died in the 70s, George. So that's why his stick was probably his sticks that he made, and he only makes so many. So.
Yep.
Let me see if I can pull it up. George died in 1975.
Wow.
So George, 1912 to 1975, Russian-born billiards cue maker, arguably one of the most prominent members of that profession. So his full name and last name stands alone, referred to cue stick making in the United States. So originally made them out. Wow, it's so cool. It's just great stories on the Balabushkas and his cues, and I know that some of them are like 5 figures, like 10 grand. Depends on the inlays, right?
I mean, I don't think you'll find even the most plainest one that they were selling for like $175 back then.
Right.
You can't get it for less than $6,000-7,000 now.
Wow. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. So when are you starting this the pool league? When are you looking to start this up by the summer? Or?
Yeah, as soon as we get, I'm talking with a couple. There's an energy drink sponsor that wants on board, and then I got a couple investors. So the biggest thing is we got to get the partner with the right, if it's going to be a streaming platform or a network that wants to take it on. But we're going to own pool. So there is no professional USA tour, and we're modeling it after the PGA Tour model. So it's going to be the exact same kind of a structure where you earn your tour card, the television or streaming platform, and then the betting.
Alan Hopkins has that big show that he does every year. I think it's like April in Pennsylvania, right? Have you ever been
Super
there?
Billiards Expo.
Super Billiards
I'll be there. I'll be there.
You're going to be there?
I go every year.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I went like one of the first years. I like Alan a lot.
Yeah.
Alan, I also can call him a friend. I've been with him many times. I'm going to see if I can get him on. He'll come on, I'm sure, to promote the show this year.
He's a great guy.
You've been to the Billiards Expo?
I won the very first, 1993, when he had it at the Meadowlands, Sea Caucus.
Yep.
I won the very first amateur event, 1993.
Wow.
Because I was going to play the pro event.
Sure.
And then, and he says, I'm doing an amateur thing here, and then I said, really? He said, yeah, you don't play on the pro tour, you can play in it.
Wow.
And I said, is everybody going to get mad? And he goes, no. He said, you don't play, you're not professional, so, and then, I said, well, where's it played on? He says, on these tables, and he pointed to a sea of about 128 tables, and there were 7-foot tables, and I'd never seen a 7-foot table before.
Wow.
So I said, really? So you ever played on the bar tables, small tables? Because we play on 9-foot tables,
sure.
right? And then, so I hit a couple balls on it. I said, how do you ever miss on this thing? So I never missed the ball the whole week. Yeah, it was funny.
No one got mad that you beat, they really didn't
Well, I couldn't play it ever again. But that was the first one. They were like, no pros allowed.
I heard you robbed my man Kevin Clark over in Clarky Billiards up in Scranton. That's my buddy.
I like Kevin.
He wants you to play. He wanted to play. He's happy to lose his money to you.
He called me to play.
He doesn't lose much money in pool. I can tell you that. He's a great pool player.
Well, what happened was I think he seen me at the Super Billiards Expo that year.
Yeah.
And I could not make a ball. But he didn't know why.
Oh, okay.
He just saw me couldn't make a ball, and he was telling somebody.
Maybe you got older.
He said, Rodney, don't play like you used to.
Wow.
And then I heard that, and then I started practicing a little bit, and then I got a right cue. I didn't have the right cue. I didn't have any cue actually, and then because I was kind of phasing, kind of just teaching.
Sure.
So I was like, I wasn't really focused on playing. But then he messaged me and said, hey, when you're coming up and doing your clinic, you want to play some? I'll play you like $1,500 a set and this and that. And I'm like,
did you play in his pool room?
His pool room, on his home table. Yeah, his table. Yeah. But it was.
I gotta be blunt. It's actually, listen. I know you were one of the best.
Yeah.
But Kevin on his home table.
Yeah.
Wow, I think he's setting you up for a big one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully he messages me again.
Yeah. Oh, he's a good guy too.
He is good.
Such a nice guy. I always hope he does well.
Yeah, he does good over there at that place.
And he does. You know, it's such a dying sport. You have to try to get these leagues.
Yeah.
You have to try to get, leagues are a big thing. Try to get people in and up there too. It snows up there a lot, so he has a lot of people. When you want an indoor thing, you really can't play golf.
Yeah.
It snows 3, 4, 5 months out of the year there. Freezing cold there right now, almost everywhere.
That's where I used to go. I'm living in Hawaii, so at the time, all those years.
Yep.
And I wouldn't fly out to Jersey until at least September.
Right.
Because we want the weather to be bad. That way everybody's indoors.
Oh, right.
Makes no
like
sense to be out there in the summer. Yeah.
Don't be in there in the summer.
Yeah.
Now you're living outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, Rome, Georgia. Yeah.
What do you do there? Do you have a home pool hall there, or you don't really play too much there?
I opened a pool room with Johnny Archer actually, but we closed it down. It was about a year ago.
Okay.
But now I'm focusing on doing the tour, the Rocket Pool Tour. So I'm getting that and focusing all my energy on creating tour because in 2016 I got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it was right at that point that I decided that I want to focus the rest of my life, everything I do, to give back and help prepare the way for the future.
Like I said, you've always been one of the nicest guys in this game.
Thank you.
And where can people find you or find more information about this tournament?
Go to therocketpooltour.com or
THE.
Just spell it out. Therocketpooltour.com, and then and got my contact information on there, or just find me anywhere. So yeah, I'm looking to get this started, but we got to get everything. Obviously it takes money to do it, right? So we need to get the right sponsors. Nobody has figured out a way to get the corporate guys involved,
right,
and also make it a successful business model,
right.
So and it's because we haven't changed the game. It's over 100 years we've been playing pool the same way.
Unbelievable, right?
Over 100 years.
New. Offensive
score. Yeah. So all I did was I just took away all the fluff. I cut off all the fat from pool and left all the meat that everybody wants.
Wow.
And that's it. So when you're watching it, you're gonna see all shot making.
So
when you're watching TV right now on these channels, you're gonna you're gonna see stuff that you actually want to see.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see all like defensive strategy. Nobody can sit around for 3 hours and watch a chess match anymore.
Sure.
They want
who wants to watch
quick.
people play safe and
That's not what we want to see. And I'm talking about 100 million people that's going to sustain a sport.
By the way, play safe, guys. For you guys that don't know pool, play safe is actually you're hitting a ball, so you're hiding your ball behind another ball. It's a defensive strategy mechanism.
Yeah. So I took that out, and when you think of golf, even golf is just it's a similar game to pool. Golf is all offense.
Right.
Nobody's playing defense on each other.
Yeah.
They're just trying to shoot your best score. Bowling, you're just trying to make a strike every time.
Yeah.
Same thing, darts. You're just trying to score as much as that guy. So that's what we did. We changed the game, changed the rules, and we stumbled on to those statistics, like I said. Cool. Now we're going to wow, now we can be on that level with all the other major sports.
Great. Well, Rodney Morris, thanks for coming on with us. Appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming in just for this, and I wish you much success in this, and hopefully this takes off.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right. Hey, guys, welcome back to WiseKracks. Bill Krackomberger, John Orlando. This week we had, of course, Rodney Morris, our pool guest on, our billiards champion. Some great stories by him. So we're going to have a little shortened version of John and I. I am in my home studio. John is over at Durango. And John, Super Bowl party. How'd your Super Bowl go over there?
Well, other than it being one of the why I got these on. Well, other than it being one of the most boring Super Bowls, the party was fun, having everybody over and stuff. But this one put me to sleep, man. You too,
the first,
or no?
3 quarters pretty slow. Boring. And
by the time it picked up, I didn't even care.
Yeah, I almost went over. That would have been bad for the sports books. That last run would have been real bad for the sports books. They called a holding call. And I have the numbers here, the Las Vegas numbers. Even though Seattle won and Seattle money line, Seattle covered the line, 60% of the bettors, depending on which sports book, most of them are held around 58 to 60% of the bettors were on Seattle. Despite all that, the sports books still won. They still won some good money here. So let's see. Gonna give you the number. I'll give you the numbers over the years. So this year's about $10 million was won this year between the Nevada sports books. Last year, 22 million. But if I go back over the years, they've had years where, like 2018, they only won $1 million.
A million? Wait,
2023
what?
only won. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Who do you remember?
2018 off. Yeah,
Sorry.
Philadelphia 41, New England 33. Yeah,
Wow.
that's Super Bowl. They only won $1 million off of 158 million dollar handle. Uh, and then I'll go even further to say in 2024, $190 million handle. $190 million handle with
It's
Kansas City
amazing.
won 25-22. This year, the lowest handle in 10 years, 133 million. Like I said, they won 10 million bucks, 7.4%. Um, I look back at look at these numbers though, and they actually surprised me. I didn't know that. I didn't know what the numbers were going to be for Nevada. I didn't know. I didn't know with Seattle winning like that, and I knew some of the most of the sports books. I didn't know if they were going to have. I knew they were going to win, but I just didn't know how much they were going to win. And it just goes to show me how much square money's in the marketplace. That Seattle can win the game, cover the game, but yet that final outcome happens, and it was a very good Super Bowl for me. Over at Wager Talk, I said this multiple times. They asked me for a package like 10 days before the Super Bowl. So lucky I went 6-0 on that package of props, including the
Wow.
second half over 7-0. That's impossible. I don't think I can do that again. 10-3 overall. Real good Super Bowl for me. But I just
Hey,
see the crowds. Not as busy though, especially maybe because of the Kalshis of the world, the different sports books. Kalshi handled 10 times more, 10x handle than Nevada handled on the Super Bowl. So they have cut in for sure to the final numbers here. And the reason why Nevada's probably a little bit slower for the Super Bowl, I seen rooms were like $80, $100. You could have stayed at many casinos for $100 Saturday and Sunday night. I was kind of shocked by that. Super Bowl, typically the busiest time of the year. So I was pretty
hey,
surprised by
Bill.
that. Yeah, go ahead.
So you said they put together a package for Super Bowl with you put 6 picks on it. What and you went 6-0?
Yeah.
What do you
Yes.
charge for that package? What did that package cost
Listen,
people?
I'm slowly.
I know you don't like
transferring the
talking about
customers.
this, so
No,
I
I'm
I
slowly
want to.
transferring the customers over to Wager Talk, and we'll have that deal finalized in about a month. I've never ever sold picks for that low of they charge like $50 for the package. So
So that's incredible. That's
typically
what I was
my
getting
stuff
at
was
is
yeah
$50,
yeah
and you handed
50
back
bucks.
6 winners.
It's
That
unbelievable.
is
6-0. That was sick.
insane value.
If they got, I think it was $59 to get everything, but just to have, I had one of the plays that they like to grade at 5%, which I told them I'm not putting 5% on anything. I'm going to put 2.5%, no problem. So when they have a 5% play, I tell them my percentage is going to be 2.5%, and that also won. That was my bigger play there, which was the over second half, which you could bet before the game. You could bet either half over. You could also make a bet second half more points than the first half, but I just didn't like the Adelaide $1.30 on that. So yeah, it was a great Super Bowl for me. Great Super Bowl for anyone that trust in me. Like I've said every year, listen, I do this for a living. Um, this is not someone that just sells games and doesn't bet serious amounts of money. You're welcome to ask any sportsbook manager if that's the case.
And
Most of them probably.
I was
Yeah.
spot on, Crack. I told everyone Patriots in the over.
Yeah. Oh.
well, yeah, but Patriots in the over. So
there's nothing wrong. Hey, listen to me. I'm dead serious now. The people that you people that like and subscribe and comment, you got to know this. You can't pick on John for this. There's nothing like John doing this. There's nothing wrong with this. You tell the truth. You're very transparent, and that's why I locked up that site on GoDaddy years ago, betagainstjohn.com. I'm going to open it one of these days. I just haven't put the time and effort into that.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with consistency, John. Thank you very much. But yeah, you got a nice new shirt on though. Look, you look so nice. Um, so something must be going well. How about the 24-hour show, John? That went good. I was on there.
It,
I was on there for a segment. You had a lot of people there. My God, you had
yeah, man.
like that back room. You had all those people that were waiting. You had like a lot of
Yeah.
circus performers on. Like I felt you were like P.T. Barnum, and you had like all different kinds of people on. Like I'm not going to go into anything, but there was a
Yes.
couple mixtures of different things going on there. I'll be
There
nice.
was, there was, there was. That was very well put. Yeah, we had some fun sponsors. We had Pink Cherry as a sponsor, and I'll let the our viewers can type the name Pink Cherry in and figure out what that is all about.
Oh,
And so
okay.
we had some fun segments with that, and then Built, my guys over at Built Basics, where I'm rocking a full. You mentioned the new shirt. This
Oh,
whole ensemble is from my favorite clothing brand, Built. They sponsored the podcast. I changed Bill. Bill, I don't know if you know this. I changed into a different Built outfit every hour on the hour for 24 straight outfits. That they
oh.
were nice. They were nice enough to send me 24 different outfits.
No, I
Uh,
didn't. I didn't know that.
yeah. In all honesty, I might have only got about 21 outfits in. That's why I'm wearing this today. Well, I would have worn this anyway, but it's hard. It's harder than you think to change every hour with the way that show unfolds. But it was a lot of fun. It's the 6th year we did it. I look forward to next year. I thank you for coming by. It's always good to have you on, and
No, it
it
was
was
nice.
fun.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to actually come by and spend some time with you guys. And your friends are really nice. They're
Thanks,
just
man.
a bunch of nice guys. You have some you have a lot of civilian friends. I like them. And then you have a lot
Yeah.
of crazy. Then you have a lot of crazy friends that were yeah.
Yes.
Let's get so anyway. Yeah. So the Vegas did good for the. But I was out last couple nights. The town is cleared out. Yesterday I was at Fountain
Yeah.
Blue, and there was just nobody there. Yet the pizza there. I had pizza there yesterday. It was the best pizza I've had since I've been in Vegas. Probably was that pie that was made yesterday for me at Miami Slice. Miami Slice, a great pie yesterday. But the whole place was totally dead though. It's amazing. I really think that not only because of the Kalshis of the world, I think that people are so scared to come to Vegas because it's not that destination where the cheap eats, the fun, and it's just not anymore. Especially with all social media talking about how greedy these corporations have become with parking fees, with resort fees, with even yesterday. I mean, that pizza was $43 for a pie. Yeah, that's a lot, but there's other places in town's even more than that. Over at Caesars, it's 66, I think it was for a pie. So we're back home. What is it in New York and New Jersey? $20? I mean, you can get the
Yeah.
best pizza in the world for $20 um, for a pizza. Oh, I should have brought on this. There's this new LA pizza spot. This guy's from, I think he's from the Bronx. Is he from the Bronx or is he from? He's from Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn. There's a new LA pizza spot I have to try. I sent the let me see if I can find the video real quick. I sent the video to someone to see if you ever heard of it. It's funny. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, did you try? What's the one that you turned me on to? Lamont?
La Monica's New York Pizza in Westwood on Gailey. The best. No one will ever convince me there's better pizza.
Well, this place is. I really think that you're gonna like this.
Really? Where is
Yeah,
it?
I think it's on a corner. Here it is. I found it. All right. Why
Were you
this LA
just in LA or
pizzeria?
something recently?
No, no. I
Oh,
seen
okay.
it on Twitter. This
Oh,
this place. Okay, hold on. All right, here it is. I'm gonna give you the name of the place. This place looks so good, and this guy's from the city. I was just like, I gotta go to this place. John, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it. Boy, it's on the corner. There it is. There it is. Why this LA pizzeria doesn't care about? Very good. Very good. Okay. So, John, let me see if you know this guy or this place. Here's the guy, and he's him himself. Look at that Sicilian pizza. I love Sicilian. Look at that Sicilian pizza in Los Angeles. Look at this place.
yeah, that
I
looks
mean,
good.
no, it
Wow,
looks
that looks
totally
good.
legit. He's using he actually said, I'm using the most expensive. He said, I'm going to be one of the more expensive pizzas because I'm using the expensive products from back home. Yeah, okay, from back home. From back home. And Yeah, this is his place, and I still don't know the name, and I apologize. But he's using um, some really. I can't believe he doesn't have his name on here. Hold on. Smart Pizza. Can that be the name of the place?
What you cut out? Say it again.
Can the name of the place be Smart Pizza? Can that be the name of the place?
I don't know. I'm
It
gonna
has a
look.
weird name. Here it
Let me
is. Hold
look.
on.
Let me look.
He's on a corner there. See, he's on the corner there. That's his pizza place. John, look at the camera real quick. So that's
Okay.
him. He's from Brooklyn. I just want to I wanted to let you know you got to try this place, and I apologize for the people. We'll get the name of this place, before we go off air.
Yeah,
John,
I'm
do you know
looking.
anything about Steve Wynn? What happened here? This was kept. This was like
No.
kept out of the media here. No one wants to really talk about this place. All right. This is on the Slice app, by the way. I don't use the Slice app, but it looked really good. Anyway,
Wait, what's the Slice app?
this says Slice app. I heard of the Slice app. I think
Where
it's a
you go
place that,
find
that
pizza?
leads you. Yeah, that leads you to pizzerias. Yeah, it's
Genius. Genius.
I'm giving a free plug for the Slice app. So Steve Wynn, he had this $1 million. Someone tried to shake him down for $1 million in Vegas, and I'm up. There we go, John. Finally. Angel City Pizza. Angel City Pizza. I want you to try that next time you're in LA. Okay, that's the
Okay.
place.
I'm gonna
Angel
I'm
City
gonna look
Pizza.
on Instagram right now.
Yeah. So Steve Wynn. They want to keep these stories out of the media, and I get it. I get it. So this Las Vegas man was arrested for trying to extort Steve Wynn out of $1 million. This Las Vegas resident, Michael Loiza, was arrested Monday for a $1 million extortion plot against Steve Wynn. 79 threatening emails and packages showed up at the billionaire's Florida residence since 2023. Now, it wasn't difficult to find this guy that was threatening him because he used his real information, his real name, his real phone number, his real address, and he was arrested for. I mean, there's his photo. I mean, there's the guy. Yeah. He looks like an extortionist. Yeah. So, yeah, he was saying that I'm going to reveal some of your tax information, and it's just amazing that this stuff can go on. That
It really
someone
is.
could try to shake down Steve Wynn. New coach, by the way, over here in Las Vegas, Clint Kubiak. I'm not going to put too much time on this because I don't know. The Raiders are just so bad, just so bad. I just don't think that nothing's going to help them for a couple of years, and that's a shame. I love a couple of the players on there. Who doesn't like Max Crosby? Jesus, um, John. I have a couple other subjects to go into here, but before I go into them, I want to read this email. It's about our sponsor, and the email this week. This is interesting because I always feel if somebody has $2,000 to bet on a parlay, I like those little 25s to win 100,000. It's something to have fun. This guy bet 2,000 to win 117,000, 58 to 1, and the bet is Miami. He has Miami, Florida. He already won that plus 7.5. Michigan to reach the Final Four, which they're headed there. Detroit Pistons to win the Eastern Conference. Tampa Bay Lightning to also win their Eastern Conference. Now, why that? The reason why I'm going to say I wouldn't sell this is right now, as I was saying, it's worth 49.17 is what WagerWire is saying, the WagerWire app. But the reason why I'm saying that I would not sell this ticket is because right now it looks like a couple of these things are favorites. The Pistons to win the East, Lightning to win their East, Michigan Final Four. I would wait until Michigan gets to the Final Four here to try to think about a buyout, which will probably go up. I'm going to say not six, maybe fivefold. So it's going to go up a lot more. The Pistons are headed to a number one seed right now. Lightning currently have the best record in the East. I'm not selling this ticket, but this ticket for $2,000, I'm surprised someone that has $2,000 to throw down on such, a crazy parlay, because these parlays are crazy. That's what I feel. So, but So this for someone to throw down $2,000, I'm surprised he would even head over to WagerWire and the WagerWire app to see if he can get a buyout. I mean, you bet $2,000, guy. Your buyout's only
You're in
4,900. I
it.
mean, you bet that kind of money. Let's go a little further. So,
Right.
WagerWire.com, the WagerWire app. For that, I want to talk about. Let's go back to my tweet. I put a tweet up. I seen this in. I think it was in China. I seen this in China. Let's see. Is it in China? Yeah, I think it's in China. Yep, it is. Okay. So these people now have options to melt their gold. So they can go right to a machine and if they run out of money. You can see they melt their gold and they can get instant money for putting their gold right now. So if you go broke, you could just put your diamond ring in the thing. John, this will probably be good for you.
I was just gonna say, where is that? I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. Yeah. This is, I'm sure listen, they have to rob you. First of all, I'm going to read
Yeah,
this to you. Coming to Las Vegas casinos, which it's not really coming to casinos. You can't put something that gets up to 2,200 degrees in a casino. I just don't see it happening unless they really have some. I mean, just think about that. 2,200 degrees. It melts. It verifies and purifies the weight and verifies and it actually says it verifies the purity and weight of then transfers the value minus fees, of course, to your local bank account. This will devastate local pawn shop industry. I don't know that because if you pay over the price, like this has got to be a giant markup. There's got to be
has to
giant
be.
fees involved. I would think.
I would love to know what kind of numbers that does over like 6 months. Be
Yeah, I would like
interesting.
to know. I would like to know the numbers it does. You're absolutely right. But yeah, I put a video up of the Fountain Blue last night. That pizza it got 200,000 views already. The pizza, but not only the pizza, just because the food court was so dead, and the town was so dead. But that you know what that happens a lot after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
The town dies down, and that does happen a lot. So I get it. I get it. Now, what do you do? Are you still hanging around, or do you go anywhere? Like I'm thinking of going somewhere for a couple days, and
Where?
eventually,
Where would
I
you
was
go?
after March Madness,
Where
I
are
think, or
we
something.
going?
I have to go to Florida to cash some tickets at Hard Rock, but it's nice to slow down after the Super Bowl. What do you do, John? Do you
Right.
do anything?
I just plow through. Just it's just another week. Same thing for me. Super Bowl doesn't take what it takes out of me. What it takes out of you out of me. You're going so hard, Bill. Like I mean, when it was almost rude of me to ask you to do the 24-hour because I know during Super Bowl you must have done. How many shows are you on Super Bowl week? You must be on 20 different things.
Yeah, you can hear me. I had to minimize the screen for a second, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I did about 15 shows.
Yeah,
I did about
I
15
mean,
other shows. I did a big Fox show and I kind of didn't realize. I always don't realize doing this guy Mike's show nationwide. Nationwide, it's such a big show because I have relatives and people that are telling me, "Hey, Bill, we see you. We see you over home. Like they see me in Jersey and Pennsylvania." And this one guy that I don't know, put a tweet on Twitter. He took a photo of me in Boston. So I think it's on. I think it's on all the different networks, the Fox affiliates in the big areas. So I thought that was kind of cool. So, but yeah, that was a big show, and I gave out winners, which I'm so happy about. That's the main thing.
yeah,
Is
that's
John,
awesome.
I get more upset if I give out losers to people than I do losing my own money. I
No,
really
I
do.
get it. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I talked to one sportsbook manager. He said that they didn't get any big bets. They're used to getting 5, 6, or even 10 big bets of 100,000 or more, and that sports book did not get any big bets. He was concerned. I think that those bets probably went to the Kalshi market and those big markets, I guess, or it could be like stocks were down, Bitcoin was down, so people just got a little more conservative too. I mean, it could be a lot of different variables, but
Sure.
however, over at Circa, they got $1 million bet, Patriots money line, about 10 days before the game, and they were rooting. It's based on that bet. They were rooting for Seattle for a little bit. they were rooting for a little bit because they knew they were going to get a lot of Seattle money. And well, 24 hours before the game, someone came in with $1.1 million and also bet Patriots money line. So that made them really root. I'm reading what Jeff Benson said here. That made them really like. I'm going to give you Jeff Benson's quote. It was a hell of a day given our future position, but also we took $2 million plus events, which worked out really well for us. So Circa did really well in the Super Bowl. Some of the other casinos didn't fare so well. Some actually like broke even, but like I told you, almost a $10 million win for the city. And something I seen an article. I like this. I like BetMGM's doing this. So they're now suspending any customers who harass athletes. If they find
I
out
love
that you have an account and you're harassing athletes after the game, and I needed 2 more points for you, I needed it. They're suspending their account. So I like to
I
hear.
love that.
I wish more sports books would take that stance. If they find out about them suspending, they find
Yeah.
out about them going after athletes. Matter of fact, in New Jersey, I like this. A New Jersey lawmaker wants to ban text messages from the sports books about enticing you to gamble. So, like, they'll send you a text. I'm gonna give John a clip of this too. Bet now, come on in now. Every day you'll get hit every day from these casinos and from these. I'm not gonna say casinos. From these sports books that are new to the country. Hey, you got this bonus. You got that bonus. You got every day. If you don't opt out or slow down those responses, you'll get hit up every day, every week. And I like that New Jersey lawmaker. Thank you, Senator Andrew Zwicker. I never heard of him, but thank you. He seeks to prohibit all licensed gambling entities in the Garden State from utilizing push notifications and text messages to promote their gambling companies. I am really happy that that's happening, and I hope it does go through. Um, Meanwhile, I told you in-person gambling revenue, Atlantic City, up 3%, 2.9 billion. Online, just killing it. I already said these already, so I don't want to bore people. I've given you these numbers already, but this will at least listen. We're humans. We're humans. We had Vegas Paulie C on when he had his hands together and he was pounding the table about the executives not knowing what we go through. We go through enough vice and enough peer pressure, enough company corporate pressure to gamble, to be with our buddies, to do this and that. I don't care what age you're at. We don't need to be harassed on the phone constantly and said, "Hey, don't forget to gamble today. Don't forget to gamble today." I absolutely agree with this senator, and I hope that becomes a law. But you know, this sometimes what's the word? It's too big to fail. Sometimes things are too big to fail. So I hope that does become law. And yeah, John, I really don't have any more. You all right? Everything else all right?
No, I'm excited with one good thing when the Super Bowl ends, it means football's over, which means baseball's right around the corner, Bill.
Yeah,
Right around the corner.
you'll be looking to put people in homeless shelters real soon. Okay, great. Well, look forward to that. I'm gonna probably get that site going, the Bet Against John site going. I gotta put some more money into that. But guys, thank you for the whole year. Thanks for watching through Super Bowl. We appreciate it. We're gonna be on all year round here, John and I. Wisecracks. Thanks to John Hoagland, our guy that puts these together, our producer. Thanks for Wager Talk for giving us this space, and I appreciate the people that like, subscribe, your comments. Try to get back to all of them. Uh, Appreciate everything you guys do, and we'll see you next week on WiseKracks.